What's going on this week in Nerf?
Welcome to This Week in Nerf, your source for first-party, third-party, and community Nerf news. I'm Adriana, and today it's a lot of 3D printing. Like, a lot of 3D printed stuff. 4 Tacos for Me posted some Stampede Gears on Thingiverse that anyone can download and print and install in their Stampedes. And that is super nice of him, considering the metal gears that are sold are quite expensive, and sometimes we're sold out of them. The smallest 2 of the gears would be pretty difficult to print in FDM, so it would be best to find an SLA machine and use some durable resin, or use a printing service like Shapeways to get it printed in either a durable resin or a metal. They probably won't be as good as the actual metal gears, but having other options is awesome, and the Stampede is a pretty cool blaster and definitely worth giving a try modding. Curry Cafe is now selling a Rival Takedown Talon Conversion on his Etsy, so you can change your Rival shotgun into a short dart shotgun, and that's a pretty cool idea. It comes with the mag weld, the covers for the holes you will have to cut in the blaster, all the stuff you need to create the breach, and the hardware needed to put it all together. You should be getting around 130 FPS with just the stuff that comes in the box and the stock spring on the blaster, which is comparable to a stock Chrono Mag conversion and pretty decent for like a lowish tier super stock war. So that's a really good point to hit, I think. But you can get up to 200 FPS if you do a stronger spring and use a better barrel. And if you do decide to use a better barrel, it does come with a barrel clamp, so you can switch barrels or remove them easily for storage on the fly without worrying about messing anything up. Shell cutting is required for this mod, but other than actually cutting the shell, only a screwdriver is needed to put it together. So it sounds like a fairly easy installation. You can find it on Curry Cafe's Etsy for $35, and the link to that will be in the description. When you have an open source platform and you just push it out into the wild and say, hey people, go crazy modding this thing, well, you end up like what happened with the Caliburn, and you get this Revolviburn. It uses a 20 dart cylinder instead of the standard magwell, making it Wild West, I guess. I feel like everything with cylinders is a little Wild West. Unlike most of the revolver blasters that we've seen, the cylinder itself is not going to be the barrel. It's going to use the same sort of method as the standard Caliburn, where it pushes through the drum onto the real barrel and seal there in the same way that it would push through the mag and into the barrel. This blaster is still a work in progress, but a darn cool one, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out ultimately. It's just neat. So it's not new news, but an incredibly interesting post that I really wanted to share with you guys. Max Luria posted on Nerf Modders Welcome something from his product design class, some actual product design drawings from the vintage Koosh Vortex line. And I just find the process of how products are made to be incredibly interesting. And it's awesome how all of these show how things move and how things are attached to each other. And on some of these, the lines are really extended and exaggerated to show exactly how a curve should feel. And that kind of thing is just incredibly interesting to me. So I wanted to share this with you guys because this was just an exceptionally cool find. And things like this are interesting and worth looking at, I think, even if it's not new. So if you want to see more of that, the link is in the description. I think it's really interesting when different creators are working on a very similar project at the same time with neither of them knowing about each other. In this case, we're talking about Talon Mag Loaders, and that'll be a really cool product, and I'm excited to see how both of these projects turn out. So Harrison Liu, aka G.26, creator of the Spring Thunder, and Nerf Eazy-E, who's most known for the slip-on mag adapters among various other kits and bits and bobs, are both working on this project. Ezekiel posted his first. It's got a very large tube with a scotch yoke and some kind of ratcheting system to feed the darts. You just drop the darts in the tube and they're automatically loaded. And a comment suggests he'll be working on sorting by direction as well, so you won't have to point the darts straight down when you load them. It'll flip them around, I guess. That'll be a really, really cool feature. Harrison followed up a few hours later with his progress on a similar product. This system appears a lot more linear and robotic, and the tube is a lot smaller, so sorting darts seems unlikely, but this one must be really fast. He says in the comments that it's running at 20% speed in his video. Harrison says he's aiming for a $100 budget target for a completely assembled loader, which is pretty good, I think. I mean, that's a lot of work going into that, and it'll be really handy on game days. There's no word yet on price from EZE, although they do both have to actually finish their projects, and that's just a target, not a guarantee. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the progression on both of these. It looks really, really neat. And that brings us to the mod of the week, and this week it comes from Suicide Neil with this Rapturian. It is a totally new way to fuse a Rapid Strike and a Centurion. Essentially, it's a severely minimized Rapid Strike stuffed in sideways, and all of the functional bits for the Rapid Strike are still kind of in their own shell, so that makes sure everything is perfectly aligned still, and there's no need to have any fiddly bits messing with individual functional pieces. And there's so many clever choices in here. He used a Rapid Strike jam door to cover up the flywheel bulge coming out of the side of the Centurion. He used the Centurion's magwell as a battery compartment, and that's just such a clever idea. It's got to be really easy to access. He modded the internals of the Rapid Strike as well. It uses Fang revamps, bulldogs, and a 42mm cage. That means that it's getting about 150 feet per second at 7 DPS since he used the stock pusher motor. It's got a dual stage trigger, so we didn't have to mess with any extra triggers or anything like that, making it super easy to use, I'm sure. And it's just a really clever idea that's been well executed. And I especially appreciate all of the really up-close photos of the seams. Most people don't show that stuff, but you did, and I appreciate that. It's really, really cool to see how this progressed in all the images you shared. Thank you. And that's all the news I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I was having trouble filming an outro, so Luna will make up for it. Links to everything I talked about are in the description if you wanted to participate in that discussion or buy something from Curry Cafe, I think is the only shop I linked this week. She's so good. I love her. Come back next week, Monday, 9 AM Pacific, if you want to see maybe more of Luna and definitely more of me and Nerf news. Have a good week. Bye.